In this movie, I'm gonna build an e-commerce site for a fictitious company, H Plus Sports Brand. I will start by setting up a new view to return a new action method on a new controller. Before we do that, however, I want to point out that when you look at the application, you will notice that I updated the ASP.NET MVC5 project or layout, and it looks a little bit more like a real site for H+ Sport. Most importantly, notice there is a new navigation menu item called Our Products. If we run the application right now, notice that I updated the ASP.NET MVC template or layout, and it looks a little bit more like a real site for H+ Sports. Most importantly, notice that there is a new navigation menu item called Our Products. If I click on it, we actually get an error message right now because that page still needs to be created. To create the page, let's go to Visual Studio, where I'm going to right-click on the controller folder and pick Add Controller. When prompted, I'm going to select the empty MVC5 controller, and I'm going to name it Product Controller. Notice that Visual Studio not only creates the controller with the default index action method here, but if we also look into the views folder, it has once again created a default folder for us for our views. It's currently empty, so let's create a new view in there. I'm going to call it index to match the action method name. Remember that when we set up our routing role, we set index as the default action if none was specified. So that's a good thing to use here. I'll select Add, New View. I'm going to select the empty template. I'm going to name the view Index. And down here in the layout, I'm going to use the layout that is under Views Shared. And then it's called _layout.cshtml. That is in fact the view that I updated. Visual Studio now created a simple view for us. We will look more into the details of this coming up. But for now, I'm just going to remove the contents of this view and replace it with something that I added to this folder. If I run this application now, notice that Chrome opens to the correct path for this view that we were just working on, which is product/index. This is that cool feature of Visual Studio Debugger, which is a way of naming conventions in MVC project and does that for us automatically. Here we are right now looking at our new product view that I built. Back in our controller class, I would like to look at one overload of this view method. Notice that the view method we are using right now takes no parameters. But if I mouse over, you can see there are 7 other overloads or 8 total overloads of this view method in the controller base class. The one I would like to zero in right now is the one that takes one string parameter called view name. This view name parameter allows us to use different view file from the default one, which is located in the views/product folder, and which matches the name of this action method, index. Let's say we wanted to name the file list.cshtml, but still use it as a result of the index action. If I come here and rename this to list, I can now go back to the product controller and specify list. If I run this again and click on our products, you can see that products or products/index both still result in showing that list view. Similarly, I could actually specify the full path to the file I would like to use. So for example, I could do ~views/products/list.cshtml, and this will also select the correct view for the index action. Once again, if I click on products, you can see that MVC5 is selecting the correct view.